Welcome to Mission SONlight Chat from the Media Missionaries of Network 7 Media Center here in our studio in Chattanooga, Tennessee in the United States of America. Welcome wherever you're listening around the world. My name is Christopher Beeson, our Director of Production and Engineering today. Jordan Wagner is also co-hosting our program as we head to the Euro-Asia division, and in particular to two countries, Armenia, Yerevan, Armenia, the capital there, and Georgia, Tbilisi, Georgia, the capital there, and also Batumi in Georgia. We went to two large cities there. Really fascinating places to go. But before I get to that, I just want to share with you, Mission SONlight is a nonprofit Christian media production. You can learn more about us at missionsonlight.org. You can give there. You can click donate. By the way, you can text us now. You can give us a call at 423-855-4877. If you text us a question, you text us a prayer need, you just want to say hello, we'll respond to you. Let us know you're listening. It's very encouraging to us to know and get feedback from our listeners and our viewers. We appreciate you and however you feel led to connect with us. One final thing, we want to share the story of Jesus, so please share Mission SONlight Chat with your social media accounts, text it to a friend, email it to anybody you like, even somebody you don't like. Share Mission SONlight Chat today. Thank you. Again, Jordan, we are heading to the Euro-Asia division.
That's right, we are. In today's stories, we're sharing the quarterly stories of Mission SONlight, the original production of 13 Sabbath offering videos. Yep. These stories are part of a special offering that the Seventh-day Adventist Church takes every quarter to support different special projects that they want to do in that area. I
love the projects when they come up. It's always interesting to see who and what and where, and of course, where we'll be traveling. Traveling is a byproduct blessing of what we do, but we are there to share the story of Jesus, to connect with the people. So this quarter's projects, as we said, take us to the Euro-Asia division. We started with an interview of the president of that division based in Moscow. His name is Pastor Michael Kaminsky. We caught up with him just outside of Washington, D.C. at the General Conference headquarters, the Adventist Church's world headquarters. So
that's right.
We talked with him. It's been a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Interesting projects are happening in this division. Incidentally, it's named the Euro-Asia division because the geography is divided, and we're going to this quarter, partially in Europe and partially in Middle Eastern countries. Yep. So you'll see interesting perspectives from today's stories that break up in those two areas. So let's get started.
Okay, let's take a look. From the Media Missionaries of Network 7 Media Center, this is Mission SONlight.
We understand that without the gospel, without the Christ, people forever will be independent and will be divorced from each other.
This quarter, our media missionaries visit the Euro-Asia division, with headquarters in Moscow and home to 12 countries of Eastern Europe and Western Asia. The war between Ukraine and Russia have caused a change in the map that makes up this division.
Church of Ukraine from April 2022, it became attached directly to the General Conference. It's now called the Ukraine Union Conference attached to the General Conference. We had the reorganization, and we used to be 13 countries together with Ukraine. Now we are 12 country without Ukraine. And as the result of this, we took a decision for Armenia and Georgia to be directly attached to the Euro-Asia division, because it was impossible to attach them to any unions on the Russia or even broader.
Hearing some of the challenges this quarter may cause you to think there are too many to succeed here. But with the youth of the church combined with God's promises to strengthen and lead us, the work is going forward in a powerful movement.
We have many young people who are coming to the church. We are tying the future of our church with young people. Today we have more than 40 primaries and the high schools in the Euro-Asia division, and we have more than we can accept young people to Adventist school. Therefore, we are not concerned about the future of our church, speaking about the young people who is taking the responsibility about the future of their church over themselves.
Elder Kaminsky shares the value of a common Adventist mission and offering throughout the world, and especially to this politically fractured region.
And we thank Lord that we as the church, Seventh-day Adventist Church, have this project 13 Sabbath school projects. And in some cases, that only the link we still have among our countries.
There are 5 13th Sabbath projects this quarter across this vast territory. 2 of them are located in areas that present serious political challenges. The first in Soligard, Russia, is a spiritual and social center to reach the secular population.
Even bought a building just recently because we hope to have in the future the support of the 13th Sabbath School.
The second project is a youth center of influence in Minsk, Belarus.
In Minsk, we also bought that place, the Center of Influence of Minsk, and our Seventh-day Adventist youth are coming to get a training in that universities. And they are renting facilities to stay during these 3, 4, 5 years of their studying in the state universities. They have been planning this for 15 years to have a student dorm, because from the other cities, Minsk is the center, is the capital of the Belarus, and is located in the center. We bought a very nice building, maybe 600 meters from existing church, and we could locate there up to 60 young people. And we will have a chaplain there.
There is also a third project for an elementary school in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. On behalf of the Euro-Asia region of the Seventh-day Adventist Church this quarter, Mission SONlight will be taking you to the final 2 projects, located in Armenia and Georgia.
But we have a vibrant church in Armenia, enough sizable, where all ministries we have in the church, it's working. A little bit less activities we have in Georgia because our church members and our church is maybe 2 or 3 times less in Georgia than in Armenia.
The church in Armenia is planning a multi-purpose center that will have influence and impact on various demographics in this territory.
If to speak about the Armenia for last 5-7 years, it's very good developing dentistry project, and also the project with the vegetarian cafe. But that was the private initiative. Now, because of the 13th Sabbath School project, we would like to have the Center of Influence, which will be part of the church structure, where they will have the vegetarian cafe, they will have a dentistry, and also they would like to develop a media walk for that territory.
We are looking for the right location in the city to meet people where they are in this center of influence. We have strong support through the young adults of our church. Members have accepted responsibility for certain aspects of the center. We are already moving forward with cooking, media, small groups, medical mission outreach. One central place will allow us to bring people in and introduce them to a well-rounded Adventist family.
Just across the northern border of Armenia, the work of the Adventist Church in Georgia can be lonely and difficult. Members are faced with challenges from at least 2 fronts: secularism and religious corruption.
In Georgia, in city Batumi, they would like to develop also a center of influence. But they would like to direct their activity mainly for a social project, to propose some training for the people how to have some new directions in the life, to survive and also to develop this ministry to help the other people. In both cases, we hope that this will help our church members to have a new people, new connections, new visitors, and of course in the future new church members, which will hope to develop our work in that part.
Members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church around the world are thankful for what you are doing, thankful for your prayers and for your planning, preparing to give this 13th Sabbath as the offering day approaches.
I believe that this offering will bring a lot of blessings for the local church and for evangelism in the whole region. Thank you very much for your support.
I would like to express gratitude from behalf of the Euro-Asia Division members and leaders and pastors to those who participate in Sabbath School 13 Sabbath School offering to support the projects that we are developing on the field. Thank you very much for your generosity. We are praying for you, and we're asking God to bless you, your families, and all of your life.
From the Euro-Asia Division, we are the media missionaries of Network 7 Media Center, and this is Mission SONlight. What a great interview from Pastor Kaminsky. We're going to take a break and be back with more in a moment. A reminder, missionsonlight.org is a place where you can learn more. That's Mission SONlight, S-O-N, sonlight.org. And you can give there. Shoot us an email. Text us, 423-855-4877. We'll be back in a moment with more Mission SONlight Chat. Welcome back to Mission SONlight Chat. We are traveling through the Euro-Asia Division, and we are headed, Jordan, to Armenia to hear the work of the members there. This is one of those places that really grabs at your spiritual sentimentality. We were in Yerevan, Armenia, which is on the eastern plain of the mountains of Ararat. Of course, that being the mountain chain where the human race was relaunched, if you will, on the planet after the great flood of the Bible. And if you're a viewer or listener today and you believe in the flood, which we do, it's really an exciting place to visit because you can imagine, I guess, a little bit in your mind's eye, the four families coming off of there, Noah and his wife, and then Ham and his wife, Shem and his wife, Japheth and his wife, and we don't know if there were kids not mentioned in the Bible, but anyway, those four men, four women, at least coming off and beginning to settle around and rebuild the activities of the human race.
Yeah. I really enjoyed editing this piece because it gave me a picture of the geographical area where Ham and Shem and Noah and his wife and their sons' wives were, and they set out to repopulate the earth from these mountains. So for me, it was just an interesting picture to see that part of the world.
You are right. It was very, very interesting to be there. So let's not delay. Let's take our listeners and our viewers there now. From the country of Armenia, we are the media missionaries of Network 7 Media Center, and this is Mission SONlight. This quarter, we are in the Euro-Asia Division with a glimpse into ancient biblical history from the city of Yerevan, located in Armenia. This small eastern nation is thriving with more than 3 million people, where more than 1 million of the population are located in the mountainous capital city of Yerevan. Yerevan is situated on the northeastern region of the Ararat Plain and sits about 35 miles from the famed mountains of Mount Ararat. Ararat is located just inside the eastern border of present-day Turkey. Of the great biblical flood and Noah's Ark, Genesis 8:4 and 5 tells us, "Then the ark rested in the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat, and the waters decreased continually. Until the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen." The mountain chain was once geopolitically included as part of the Armenian region. Its highest peaks are easily seen by those living in the Armenian capital, Yerevan, and serves as its national symbol. The mountain is so revered by the people who live here. Businesses are named after Ararat, and images of the ark and mountain are featured on the official crest and seal of the country.
When Noah and his family came off of Mount Ararat, here behind me, they were intense and intrepid to be faithful to what God had taught them and called them to do as a people, Today, the Seventh-day Adventist churches around Yerevan, Armenia, are just as intense and intrepid to be faithful to God's teachings as they create a center of influence to reach their world, their people around their cities, and their nation for God.
This 13th Sabbath, your gifts will combine with the gifts of members in Armenia to create this Center of Influence, or COI, with components of health, media, community, spiritual, and intellectual, assimilated into a far-reaching epicenter telling the story of Jesus.
We have seen that our small center of influence has worked well with secular people. Many people have asked to learn more about our vegan menu, and from there we have done cooking classes, but only had a small space, and from the health message we have gone to the Third Angel's message. It has worked as some have come to be baptized and more are studying.
During the past 5 years, we have had small outreach projects, small blessings along the way. We want to move forward in a big way to see big blessings. Right now, we don't have a building to host the Center of Influence. Right now, we work in a temporary place where we have little contact with people. We want a place to host people, to share a meal or drink, to teach health, and show the gospel.
We know it will work because we have had these activities in various smaller spaces outside the city center, so we will expand this into the larger center. We have had a health clinic that was a success, and a small cafe that worked too, and we have media that is working. But all of these only in a small way, scattered all over. With your help, we will combine these with more influence in one central space. We will have a building in the city that will hold the Family Life Center, a healthy cafe, a media center, a clinic, and potentially a specialized school.
The COI will be thoughtfully constructed to function efficiently for practical ministry.
We plan to have 4 or 5 floors. Each floor will have its own mission. It's an influence focus. The main floor will be for families and youth, hosting various social activities and family and spiritual programs throughout the year. Then, we will have a floor with a healthy cafe, where people can come and eat and fellowship. Youth will want to come here and visit with friends. We can also invite cafe patrons to join us in our family center for programs that they will find interesting. Next, we will have the media center.
Now we have the media center set up in a tiny room, but we do a lot there. We see many people coming to our churches through this ministry already. We can imagine how it will multiply once we move. There will be so much more we can do, including a full kitchen to record cooking programs and a cafe for social life, along with a dental clinic. So we will incorporate media into health evangelism in this way. We can make people's lives better through the gospel found in the ministry of wellness.
It will serve as an open place for youth and others to create short content for social media channels that our youth frequent. From there, we can also broadcast the family and youth meetings and the Healthy Cafe cooking classes in the space downstairs.
The COI will be host to a dental clinic to improve oral health and provide counseling space for psychologists where individuals and families can address mental health needs. These will serve as an entering wedge to meeting the people. They also have plans for the future growth of the center.
We may also have a floor for a school of music and arts that will come later.
This project will not take long to open once the COI is selected. Members are poised to take action as they have trained and been practicing in small ways around the city.
In the past, we have had many members involved in the smaller work we have done. They have done really well in their corner of influence. They are trained, and they are ready to get to work in this bigger space. They are professionals, trained members in the different areas. We have people who know media, how to cook, how to teach. We have dentists, psychologists, people ready to put their experience to work in a much bigger way.
Seventh-day Adventists have been working in Armenia for more than 100 years, only slowly reaching secular people. The churches here are small, none of them are big, and this is a big, ark-sized project with great need in reaching this city. The rent where we are working is expensive, and the space is very small and limited. We're going to purchase the building needed for influence in Yerevan. Like Noah, we have great faith.
We can assure you that the funds we have invested before have met their purpose with so many spiritual blessings. We can believe that your funds for the 13th Sabbath will contribute to our small blessings to create big blessings for God.
thank you for sharing your monies for spreading the gospel in other places where there is a need, like here in Armenia. I can assure you that these methods, Christ's methods, work here in Yerevan. We thank God for your gifts.
The people here are trusting God to build a spiritual ark here in the center of Armenia. How will you respond to being a part of financing its construction this June? From the media missionaries of Network 7 Media Center in Armenia, this is Mission SONlight.
It was great to see the leaders stepping out in faith to make this work happen.
Yeah, it was great. It was interesting, super interesting to be there. We're going to have to take a break, but we've got more Mission SONlight Chat coming, and we want to encourage you to connect with us. You can visit us at missionsonlight.org. You can text with us at 423-855-4877 or email admin@n7mc.org. We'd like to hear from you. It is a blessing to hear from our friends who are listening and watching. So share today's program with a friend, an enemy, a colleague, a family member. Share it with anybody that you like. Remember, you can give at missionsonlight.org. We'll be back with more Mission SONlight Chat.
Our salvation is a day-to-day matter, isn't it?
The real principle of the Sabbath is reconnecting ourselves with the Creator.
We must learn to abide in Jesus now.
We move ahead with our mission objectives, recognizing that we are serving together the Most High God.
Welcome back to Mission SONlight Chat. We are headed from Armenia north. We took a highway drive, beautiful drive past Lake Savan and up through the mountains, and we are headed north to the country of Georgia. Not the state, but the country.
Yeah, this country is a beautiful country. It's got beautiful people there, but they have some serious challenges in sharing the story of Jesus with their own people. So let's go watch that now.
Welcome to the Eurasia Division from the Media Missionaries of Network 7 Media Center. This is Mission SONlight. Today we bring you to the Georgia field where, despite a small Adventist membership, the workers and laity remain hope-filled. When you visit the capital region of Tbilisi, you will find a mecca of arts, entertainment, literature, natural beauty, and great world history. A stroll along the riverfront, walking along the many monastery ridges, or even hiking at the highest point, where the communication tower pushes toward the clouds, demonstrates a different perspective at every turn.
Christianity came 300 years after Christ to the kingdoms of Kola and Iberia, which later became Georgia. Georgia Orthodoxy has permeated every sphere of the identity of Georgia, fighting off other faiths, primarily Muslims, and causing the Orthodox Church to be stronger and wield more power than any other.
Joseph Wolf, a Protestant missionary, brought Christianity back in the late 1800s. Russian immigrants to the U.S. also sent tracts about Adventism to their relatives in Georgia. According to ESDA, Dr. Vagram Pempeyan, an Armenia-American doctor, was the first official Adventist missionary in Georgia. He arrived in 1904 with his wife and brother. He spent 2 years working here, conducting many Bible studies and sharing literature. He only managed one baptism due to heavy persecution from Orthodox clerics. This persecution continued still despite the intrepid efforts of later Adventist missionaries, like pastors Heinrich Lubsak, a prominent evangelist, and Albert Ozols, a young Latvia-German doctor.
After the breakup of the Soviet Union, the church began growing faster because people felt free and began to explore their faith foundations. The conservative Orthodox church leadership has staunchly pulled back on that freedom and holds firmly to its membership with threats and political influence. It has become very difficult to gain friendship and grow membership with prospective new members.
As we travel west from the capital in Tbilisi to the Black Sea coastal city of Batumi, we experience the relics and remains of very old Orthodox monasteries and the picturesque views that once captivated the monks who called this place home.
Here in Batumi, along the Black Sea, we notice an almost palpable difference in culture because Batumi has beaches and sunsets as well as a worldly culture of gambling and luxury. It is also home to the second largest port in the nation, making it a key strategic city for this Euro-Asian region of commerce. It's a popular getaway destination for residents of Turkey, as it lies only 12 miles north of the Turkish border and makes for convenient shipping and shopping too. It is sometimes a challenge to work here with the secular environment, and especially with the Orthodox also holding tight to its adherents.
The challenges of growing the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the region of the country of Georgia are great, especially here, where there is great wealth. However, as we listen to the Georgian Adventist congregation, you will hear intrepid believers and leaders who have seen God's hand move mightily in the past and are trusting His hand to lead them forward still.
We have a strong group of church members in our city. They are diverse from many different regions of Europe, including Ukraine and Belarus. They have sought out their Adventist family here, and they want to be true to God's call on their heart.
This 13th Sabbath, you will be a part of a center of influence that will nearly double the size of this small current campus located on Peter Tchaikovsky Street in Batumi.
In Batumi, we have a good church family. Since the war in Ukraine, refugees from there and Belarus have come over, and it makes it easy to attend and be part of the church and the community. Many people are coming here as the city grows, because they find jobs and open businesses, and they thrive here. We have the port, we have tourism, and we have lonely people. We have people hungering for what is missing. This is our moment to open doors and welcome them in, to not only go out to the streets where they are, but also to invite them in with open arms.
Pastor Churaya explains the immediate need here for this church building and its members, well situated in the center of this city.
Our church is small and old in Batumi. As we work to bring in the refugees, children, and families, we need space and special social projects. We currently have one big space, but here we need more space to grow and be a center of influence for God. We need several rooms for outreach to the refugees, to the children, so that we can host Bible meetings, health trainings, and social activities too.
The tentative building plans are to go up with this structure. It is situated in such a way that a full second story can be added, and a pastoral apartment can be completed on the third level. When we visited, a midweek afternoon prayer service was held. The members shied away from being on camera, but we could sense from their conversation a genuine joy and foresight for the fulfillment of this project, and a focused vision for how the center of influence would transform their meager efforts to bring great dividends to the kingdom.
The work of the Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Georgia is the same as the work of the Seventh-day Adventist Church world around. The three angels' messages, the gospel, that Jesus wants us to have life and have it more abundantly, both here and for eternity. That's the work that they're doing here in Georgia. This 13th Sabbath, you can help them as they grow this small facility into a greater facility to do the work of the three angels' messages until Jesus comes.
Thank you to everyone who accepts this report and gives for this 13th Sabbath offering. We ask that the Lord will bless you and fulfill all the needs you have in your life.
What will you give on Sabbath, June 29, for the seemingly impossible work here in Georgia and in Armenia? Work that will change the kingdom landscape for eternity and shore up the courage of these members in a powerful way.
My work as a pastor is difficult. With the subtle persecution that still takes place, it is even more so. However, we have a window right now that we cannot miss. People are not so focused on their religious history. They are searching for something more. We don't want them to find it in the gambling or drinking or lonely behaviors of the city. We want them to find their answers in a genuine relationship with Jesus. You can help us show them and give them a place to worship as they grow and get to know Jesus. Thank you so much.
We are not asking you to do our work. We are willing and able to serve here. We are asking that you come alongside us and be partners in ministry. We want to thank you for what you are willing and led to do as a fellow church member in Batumi.
From the nation of Georgia and the Euro-Asia Division, we are the media missionaries of Network 7 Media Center, and this is Mission SONlight.
it's been really interesting to watch these stories and be able to take our viewers to see the stories that are happening in the Euro-Asia division. We hope you've been blessed as you've been watching these videos, and we encourage you to pray for the people that are on the ground doing the work, spreading the story of Jesus.
Jordan, it was so fascinating to be in this part of the world, to be that close to some biblical history, and also the geographical, you mentioned that earlier, being partly in the Middle East, partly in Europe, and those countries, they have representation from both. There's a little bit of an Eastern influence, a little bit of a Eastern European influence. So it was indeed fascinating to be there with all that diversity. Thank you so much for joining us for this Mission SONlight Chat. Today's program has been brought to you by the Media Missionaries of Network 7 Media Center. Jordan and I have been privileged to be your host today. Thank you for joining us. You can share with us with Mission SONlight Chat via text by just text us a message, 423-855-4877. You can email us at admin@n7mc.org. Also, you can share the program on your social media platforms. We are blessed and thankful to have that connection and contact with you. We truly love to hear from you. So pray for us, and we'll be praying for you. Thank you so much. That's all for today's program. This is Mission SONlight Chat.